Here's the ridge crest again. This is an Axial AX10 ridge crest. I've done a couple of upgrade videos on it, and as I continue to upgrade, I'll be posting my progress. This time around, not too many upgrades. What I've done is I saw a video on YouTube of Squirrel putting rear steering on his Wraith. I really liked that, and I thought I'd like to do that to my ridge crest. And I've done it very simply, just changing the axle hinge pins and just adding the steering hardware that I already had from changing the front ridge crest to aluminum. So I put the plastic links back on the rear, and so now I have rear steering. I used the same STRC links that I used before in the front, only I used them in black so I could designate between the front and the back, also to draw less attention to the rear. In order to do this, I had to reverse the steering servo, and the steering servo programmer that I was able to use for a while, it only worked with high-tech digital servos. This forced me to switch my servos out to high-tech HS, I'm trying to get it in the frame, HS5645 MGs. Those are in the front and rear. Those are 645 MGs, only in the digital version. It's a Metal Gear servo. I don't recall the exact amount of torque right now, but they do well enough, and they're not so noisy as other digital servos. Not that that's a factor in performance, but they do well enough. Also, in order to power the servos, I installed a Castle BEC, which you can barely see here. It's a little better view of it. It's installed there, and I've got it zip tied to the frame right next to the receiver box, which might not be the best spot, but that's where I was able to get it. This helps power the servos because the servos are pulling a little bit too much power. I could see already with the low battery pack, the servos get a little funny, so I figured I'd do something to help resolve that issue, and that was a 10 amp Castle BEC, the smaller Castle BEC. I didn't have a need for the larger one. I think I barely need this smaller one for my purposes. The cords were a bit excessive, so I curled them and got them tucked nicely out of the way. And I also changed out the waterproof receiver. Since the new high-tech servos aren't waterproof, I didn't want to open them up and try to go through all the water resistance measures, and I just don't know about the plastic dipping, so this is now not a waterproof rig. That's okay, but since it's not waterproof, I took the waterproof servo. It had a 200 WP on there, Spectrum, and I took it out and just put a 201 in there. It's a water resistant coating, but I won't be running it through water. The BEC allows the servos to fire up as soon as the battery is installed, which is weird to me for a while. So as I plug the batteries up, the servos automatically fire up, and they're active. You can see the dual steer, and the truck turns almost on a 45-degree right now as you're moving along. So the steering works, but the throttle does not. As soon as the truck is powered on, this is from the BEC, and I hit the power switch, and everything functions as normal. The only thing is that when the top's off, I can't tell the front from the back, even with the gunmetal links up front and the black in the rear. It takes a second to kind of grasp which direction it's going, but you just throw the top on, and that solves that problem. So that's a Ridgecrest upgrades this time. Looking into a better transmission for the next upgrades, but we'll see what comes along as I do it.